A freeze on federal funding by the Trump administration left many agencies and organizations wondering what the future holds, and that includes tribal nations. MTN's Owen Skornick-Hayes spoke with Little Shell leaders who say while the freeze was brief, it was still chaotic.
Tribes across Montana are once again able to access federal funds after a brief freeze, but it doesn't change the air of uncertainty about what the near future may bring. I caught up with the Little Shell tribe here in Great Falls to discuss the potential impact of another federal funding freeze.
We would basically shut down our housing program and send our employees home.
Gerald Gray, chairman of the Little Shell tribe, was stunned when the Office of Management and Budget released a memo requiring a halt to all federal funding. In fact, he says he received no warning.
None. It was like, what the heck is happening? Yeah, not a word. And it's like, wow, you should be having consultations, meaningful consultations with us, because all of this stuff affects us.
Gray says his tribe was told they had until 5 p.m. to draw down any funding they required, but right at noon, they were no longer able to draw down. From healthcare to education to infrastructure, tribes like the Little Shell rely on their budget being majority supplemented by the federal government, many funding agreements obligated through treaties.
Even that little pause, momentary pause, really caused a lot of heartburn because you didn't know what was going to happen.
After some lobbying, within 3 days, the federal funding freeze was rescinded, freeing up money that had been previously signed off on and contracted.
And these funds are always under contracts. The federal government needs to honor, we have a trust and treaty obligation. And a lot of these funds are based on those.
Now, Gerald says his tribal office can access all the funds they need to, but the precedent set has them uneasy for the future. Gray worries challenges to federal funding for tribes would result in lengthy, expensive legal battles, potentially tying up money necessitated to the tribe through treaty. Should freezes return, Gray hopes at the least they are done more systematically.
Hopefully that the administration is thinking through this and, realizing, well, we can't just do it in a big broad swipe. It's got to be, each program, each agency's got to be looked at.
The recent halt on the federal funding freeze does not impact other executive orders released by the Trump administration. From Great Falls, Owen Skornick-Hayes, MTN News.
It was extremely cold this morning as low temperatures were in the 20s, the 30s, and the 40s below zero for most of us, and wind chills were in the 30s, the 40s, and the 50s below zero. Multiple locations did set a new record low temperature this morning, including Cut Bank, Great Falls, and Havre. In Great Falls, we had a low temperature of 29 below zero, breaking the old record low of 19 below. And then in Havre, the low temperature this morning was 35 below zero, breaking the old record low 33 below zero, set back in 1884. High temperatures today weren't that much better. Most of us were below zero for the entire day today, but in Lewistown, it actually felt pretty nice outside, a high of 27. Right now, temperatures are in the single digits and teens below zero, so it's still really cold outside. When you factor in the little bit of a breeze that there is out there, it feels like it is in the single digits, teens, and 20s below zero. But how much longer are we going to have to deal with these frigid temperatures and dangerous wind chills? I'll let you know my full forecast in a little bit.